watching The Last Word and I'm Marya Shakil. Deepfakes are a real and present danger. This is an accepted fact. Don't get me wrong, AI-generated deepfakes have several uses as well, but they are also easy prey for misuse, just like any other technology too. To tackle the menace of deepfakes, Union IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav held a stakeholders meeting to draw up an action plan. This plan involves a four-pronged strategy covering early detection, preventing spread of misinformation, evolving an effective reporting mechanism, and creating awareness about the threat of deepfakes. Clearly, both creators of deepfakes as well as platforms that host them need to be a part of any regulatory mechanism. And the time to act is now, is what we are debating on The Last Word tonight. But first up, here's what happened today.
एक नया खतरा उभर के आया है, वो है डीप फेक। इससे हमारी सोसाइटी को नुकसान हो रहा है। जरूरत है कि जल्दी से जल्दी इस पे स्टेप्स लिए जाएं।
Amid growing concern over deepfakes, Union Minister for Communications and IT Ashwini Vaishnav met with senior representatives of social media platforms, academia and the industry on Thursday to formulate an action plan to deal with this menace. After a nearly 2-hour-long meeting, it was decided that within 10 days an action plan would be formulated. The government and social media companies agreed that deepfake content should be detected before and after such content is posted. There should also be an effective mechanism for preventing propagation of deepfake content. Effective and expeditious reporting and a grievance redressal mechanism should also be available. They agreed that mass awareness on the issue of deepfake should be created. The IT Ministry has already started an exercise for assessing and drafting necessary regulations. Soon, comments will also be invited from common public on the MyGov portal.
आज सभी सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स को एक डिटेल्ड मीटिंग के लिए बुलाया गया था। सबने इस पर सीरियस रेगुलेशन, सीरियस कंट्रोल, इसकी स्वीकार्यता को जाहिर किया। इन सब बातों से क्लियर हुआ कि एक नए रेगुलेशन की जरूरत है और इस पे त्वरित भाव से कार्रवाई शुरू होगी।
The concerns over deepfakes were also recently flagged by Prime Minister Modi, who called it a big crisis that could threaten society. Popular actors Rashmika Mandanna, Katrina Kaif and Kajol have in recent days fallen prey to deepfakes.
To address the growing concern about deepfake videos, the Communication and IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav has called the second round of meeting with all important social media companies and stakeholders after 10 days in the first week of December. This meeting is expected to deliberate on the broad contours of the proposed new regulations and also discuss the option of formulating a new law to deal sternly with the menace of deepfake videos. In Delhi with Karan Patra, Himanshu Shekhar for NDTV.
Joining me on the show, Tom Anthony, web developer and motion graphics designer. We have Brijesh Singh, who is an IPS officer, Principal Secretary to the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. Virag Gupta is advocate and cyber law expert. Rohit Kumar is the founder of Quantum Hub. And Jitin Jain, cyber security expert. Jitin Jain, do you see all stakeholders really aligning to regulate this industry? First, there is an acceptance that India doesn't really have the legal framework. It needs one. But the fact is that this is also a source of revenue. Deepfakes is a source of revenue.
Look, Marya, there are three facts to set the context of this argument. A, the deepfakes of almost all celebrities, including the porn videos of almost every celebrity across the world, including India, have already been available online from last 3-4 years. What happened to Rashmi Mandanna was actually not a very obscene video, and that is the reason the society was able to debate about it, and it found a currency in the mainstream media, and it has raised all the concerns which people have been talking about in last 3 years, but they never found a space in the mainstream media. So A, this problem has been growing in last 3-4 years. That's number one. Two, the existing laws are not enough. Existing mechanisms under the IT rules or the Defamation Act and all are not sufficient to provide any immediate relief or remedy to the victim. That is also now an acceptable fact. Number three, I think there is no debate between or disagreement between social media platform experts, academia, or tech industry about that these deepfake videos needs to be removed. There has to be some timely action. But the fundamental problem here is that how do you detect whether a video is a deepfake or a real one? Now it is a double-edged sword. It is very easy to say that this is a deepfake video when you are able to prove it, and then you ask a platform to take it down. But look at the the last bound cases, the outer boundary analysis. For example, tomorrow, if NDTV was to carry out a story of a politician accepting a bribe during elections, and even if it is a bona fide genuine video, a very a video shot by a reporter, tomorrow that person accepting the bribe can get up and say that, look, it's a deepfake, it's not me, remove it within 36 hours. What do you do then? So who decides whether a video is a deepfake or a real one? Right now, all the technology companies, including Meta, Facebook, or Google, and others, or Apple, does not have a technology to detect a deepfake with 100% accuracy or even 95% accuracy in real time. Because we partnered with Google 4 years back, detecting a similar deepfake videos using their technology. But what these companies are essentially doing right now is sort of creating a library of existing deepfake videos to spread awareness among users. That does not solve the problem.
Yes.
So I think there are only two solutions to it. A, of course, you need laws, but you have to find a mechanism. How do you detect deepfakes and how do you then enforce these laws?
Yes.
Because the criminals who are going to run propaganda and use deepfake for creating religious riots or instability in the country will not follow the law. So how do you then create a deterrence is the question.
Yes. So Brijesh Singh, the point here is that though there's this emphasis on labeling and watermarking so that there is a clear demarcation on videos which are deepfake, but the regulatory mechanism is not enough. And as Jitin was pointing out, most of these platforms may not really agree to come on board with what is being done. And of course, in India, this menace may be being debated in public sphere a little much only after the Rashmika Mandana episode, but this has been a live threat all over the world, and it's been there for several years now.
Yeah, any person, any celebrity, let's say Ranveer Singh, has a right to his face, his likeness, his body, and it cannot be violated by anybody else. Now, regarding deepfakes, all the platforms have a bounden responsibility under the IT rules, and they have to practice due diligence and understand that technologically it's very, very difficult to detect them in real time. But the context tells it all. As soon as these videos are up, there is somebody who would complain. And that is why the Indian IT rules have established a 3-tier structure, wherein it's a light touch regulation. There is a grievance officer. The grievance officer has a responsibility. Once somebody complains, they have to find out immediately, understand what it is about, and take immediate action of blocking or bringing it down. I understand that creating deepfakes is very easy, and there are no technological benchmarks which actually allow you to forensically examine whether it is exactly a deepfake or not. But the context would tell you, somebody who would complain would tell you, and there would be, enough common sense available to the grievance officer to take appropriate action. Even for law enforcement, I think there is enough material available generally to understand whether it is a deepfake or not and take appropriate action. Marya?
Okay. Then Virag Gupta, an effective reporting mechanism is being emphasized upon, but different companies have different ways of doing this. Can there be a common code of sorts that's compulsory for every platform?
Mr. Brijesh Singh was just speaking about the grievance redressal, this mechanism. And this mechanism was first established by Delhi High Court order in 2014 in Ken Govindachar matter. Now, when the government says that we are meeting with the social media companies, so 4 big questions are there regarding that grievance redressal mechanism. Number 1, with whom government is meeting? Because these companies are having their Indian entity, which is a subsidiary company, and they are claiming themselves to be the marketing company. And the parent company is in USA. So whenever law enforcement agencies, police or government or the court have anything to say, then they are saying that please speak to our US counterpart. So if Indian companies, the subsidiaries are only marketing, then why they are meeting with the government, and why not the government calling the parent company? That is the first question. Second question is, what is the time limit? Whether it is 24 hours, 36 hours, 1 month or 72 hours, because ultimately it has to be addressed clearly in the rules itself. And for that limit also, they are asking for the police FIR or the court order, and whether in India can one get a court order within 24 hours, that is the second question. Third question is, these companies are using artificial intelligence for removing so many objectionable content, which is clear from their monthly report, which is being given as per the IT rules. So why they are not using AI to remove the deepfake content? And fourthly, when Jitin Jain was telling that suppose NDTV done some operation and somebody complains, and on the basis of that, so I don't think that deepfake content is being circulated through some authentic channels or the accounts. It is always circulated through the anonymous these accounts. And 30% or 33% accounts are there of these companies. So some bogus accounts are there. So some official person is saying, so if that content is to be removed.
So you are essentially saying, Virag Gupta, that government may not be interacting with the right set of people. And even if they interact with the India-based parts or India subsidiaries of these big, platforms like Meta and others, that won't really yield results as desired. Jitan, I'm going to come to you because there are two others who haven't really made their opening comments. We have to take their comments as well. Rohit, this point, particularly to do with who are you really interacting with? Because self-regulation is an option. But we also know the limitations of self-regulation. Then what really can be done? As per the IT rules, which are there in the domain till now, it is about punishment of a few years and also fine. But is that sufficient?
Yeah, and Marya, I just wanted to very quickly build on it. I, as a policy firm that works with a lot of tech companies and other players in the ecosystem, including the government, it's not that I think platforms are not on board. I think platforms also recognize that it is important to keep platforms safe. That is the only way users will actually use it. But I think there are real issues in detection, as Jitin spoke about, and also issues in takedown. And to the point that Brigesh mentioned, which is that why don't companies take down content on their own? See, all uses of AI and all use of artificial intelligence to create synthetic content may not necessarily be bad. So even if the platform is able to identify that something is AI generated, if it starts taking down content on its own, it can actually also censor free speech in a variety of ways. And AI also has positive uses. So I think the first
this
thing
isn't free speech. So let's be clear, deepfake isn't free speech. It doesn't really qualify as one.
No, what I meant is that when you're using, let's say you can edit an video using deepfake to sort of use it for educational purposes also without, I'm not talking about sort of morphing images, etc. But I'm saying that if some AI product has been used, an AI tool has been used to edit an image or a video, and it is labeled as such, the platform is not in a capacity to take it down itself until it is proven that it is harmful or it is affecting somebody else's rights, for which there are provisions in the IT Act. However, the problems are by the time a complaint is raised and the product and the video, etc., is taken down, often it has already spread. And that is why I think the minister also mentioned in his speech today that they are probably going to consider if the timeline for taking down videos and problematic content has to be reduced. But I think there are real limitations in how that can be done, etc.
Okay. Tom, we'll be also putting out the deepfake that you created yourself. From creating a deepfake that went viral to creating awareness about its dangers, what really changed for you?
Well, I made that video for my YouTube channel, but it went super viral. I didn't think this many people will watch that video, but I got to know like how social media works, like how influence work. Like if I use some actor's face, it will gain more views on my YouTube channel. If I want to get just views, I can use someone else's face for my videos and it will get more views. These things I got to know, and how social media is like promoting this. People are using filters on their face. These deepfakes are just a part of it. AI is already in use. Every filter on your smartphone, like Instagram, Snapchat filter, it's basically the same technology we are using it. How do we dictate all these things? If we are going to dictate deepfakes on social media platforms, we will be having false. There is a lot of content out there. I don't know how these people are going to detect these. But one thing we can do is tell people this exists. Deepfakes are there. Everyone needs to know that you cannot believe anything you see on the internet. Even if it's video, photo, audio, everything can be fake. Nothing is, you cannot believe anything on social media. Maybe we have to go back to cable TV. I don't know. So many things. I thought about this a lot. In couple of days time, I found out how dangerous this is. Yeah.
So you are saying that we'll have to go back to the cable TV era.
Yeah,
Tom,
that's
but
better.
Tom,
I think.
Besides creating a deep fake content, you realized that it was problematic, and thereafter you started speaking against it.
Yes, because I found I had this social responsibility thing, right? I know all these things. I should tell people all these things. That was in my head. I wanted to let people know how dangerous is this. And all the comments and messages I got on the Instagram page, everything was all positive. I didn't see much awareness in people. Almost 70% of people didn't care. And some people were entertained by this.
Okay.
I didn't like it actually.
Okay.
I didn't like this much attention on this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Jitin Jain, coming to you, since you wanted to intervene. We have been discussing about whether what is being done is enough. Because creators' point of view, there is this fine line between regulation and freedom of expression. But then what is freedom of expression if it is about causing the kind of harm that deepfakes actually does?
No, I agree with Rohit. Not every deepfake is disinformation or a defamatory video. I mean, let's take two examples. See, Manoj Tiwari, the Delhi BJP chief, made multiple artificially generated videos. You could call deepfakes also in different languages. He was trying to communicate with his constituency in multiple languages: Hindi, Urdu, Odia, and English. But the videos were not labeled as machine generated. So one could say that this is disinformation, please take it down. But his original intention was to just translate his language, and he wanted to communicate in the language which his voters could understand. So I think for these kind of political issues, or if a channel like India Today is using an AI-based anchor, the good solution maybe was simply putting a label that this is a machine-generated video. That solves the problem. But what doesn't solve is that suppose if tomorrow criminals or hostile intelligence agencies, ISPR, during Indian elections, let's say 2019, if they were to plant a video or by creating a fake whistleblower site of a allegedly 30-second conversation between Mr. Ambani and Prime Minister about Rafale deal, I can 500% commit you that it would have changed the entire course of entire Indian election and the result. Likewise, today, if there is a fake 30-second video clip of Mr. Adani discussing something with Mr. Modi planted by hostile intelligence agency, half our opposition political parties will fall for it. They will further, amplify it. So the problem is not will be fixed just by making the new rules on the new law. You have to find technological solution, and that can only happen when by law you mandate investment by these companies into the research of this technology to find a technological solution which can at least with 95 to 100% accuracy detect whether a video is deepfake or not. All these problems of how much timeline is required, what is the process, who is more accountable, what are the form of penalties which can be involved, all these things can come later on.
Yes.
First and second point, Marya, just 30 seconds I want to give you. Another second scenario. Tomorrow if there is a video of a West Bengal politician accepting a bribe, the first thing the politician will say that it is a fake video, take it down. And suppose even if it is really a fake video, and tomorrow if a Congress government is in power today and they have to have some political score to settle, they will tell their agencies to, say that video is real, because nobody can prove. So it can also be used to settle political scores.
Yes.
Where then one agency saying it is the real video, it will create a political mayhem.
Yes.
So you need an independent regulator. You can't leave it to the private political companies or private institutions.
Independent
you have to have a government regulator.
Rohit Kumar, 30 seconds to you, and then the final words to Brijesh Singh.
So the water label, the labeling and the embedding of this provenance ideas, information in videos and photos is definitely a good solution. In fact, there is already a coalition C2PA which has been formed globally where tech companies are trying to come up with a solution wherein the history of editing and capture of any media piece can be embedded in that media itself, so that tech platforms and users can easily identify what was its origins. However, the problem with any of this solution is that unless it becomes widespread and everybody is using it, it doesn't work. So let's say only half the platforms use it, then a bad actor can always slip through the cracks. And so therefore, in that context, to what Ditan was saying and what Brigeshji was saying, that ultimately there is a need for grievance redressal, wherein platforms are alerted and content is taken down. But I do want to say that
we haven't really seen grievance redressal cells of Facebook, YouTube really work that effectively.
So actually, one of the problems there is the volume of content, right? As this proliferates, the number of requests you will get. And right now, what the minister also said is the period is 24 hours in certain cases when you have to take down content. They're saying, I am also even thinking of squeezing it further. But the problem is if you have a large amount of requests, then a lot of these things are likely to slip through. So we had done some research last year where we said that you need to see where are you starting to get more complaints and what is starting to go more viral.
Okay.
And depending on that, the industry could come up with something called virality thresholds, where they say that things that are starting to get complained about are going viral. First, you slow them down and then you review them on priority so that you take them down in time. And therefore, the volume becomes more manageable.
Okay.
I think some platforms have already started doing this, but this is a solution that really needs to be experimented with.
Okay, Brijesh Singh, quickly, 30 seconds.
Yeah, technology is a very fast-moving cloud front. So, any technological countermeasure would also be defeated very easily. However, the basic responsibility of the platform lies in duty to care. The platforms have a duty to care towards people. And hence, it is a responsibility of the platforms to understand this. Even if they develop some technology, then share it across all platforms. So it's common public good. So it cannot be thought of as a proprietary thing. It should be shared across all platforms, and a robust mechanism of addressing the grievance and redressal of them should be created. Marya?
Okay, Tom, what's one message to youngsters about the dangers of deepfakes that you'll give?
Just be aware of this. That's it. We can't do anything about this. Maybe the government can bring out new laws and regulations on top of this, but right now, just be aware. The next election is just around the corner. Things will get weird. More and more fake videos and news will come out. People might use it in different ways, pornographics, and this is nothing. All the videos you saw till this point is nothing.
So you anticipate something perhaps, changing the course of elections as was being highlighted by Jitin, and that will certainly be detrimental. Thank you so much, Tom, Brijesh Singh, Virag Gupta, Rohit Kumar, Jitin Jain. Of course, now the focus shifts to December when the meeting will be taking place, when the final regulatory mechanism will be put in place. That's all from me. Thanks so much for watching.